So when most production potters sign their work, they use what's called a chop, and that word is borrowed from printmaking. It's basically a stamp. This one is my initial CT. So rather than, getting a dull pencil and writing my name, it's much more efficient and a more elegant solution to use a chop. So I'm going to support from the inside with this rolling pin, and I'm going to use my stamp to put my name, put my initials on the bottom of each cup. That's another production potter strategy for saving time and energy. I'm going to use an extruder to make the handles. There's an anatomy to an extruder. That each working part has a name. This being the cylinder, which can be removed to clean. This being the mount that the cylinder is mounted to. This being the collet that holds the die. The die is what makes the shape of the clay that's being extruded. So I'm going to put the die in the collet, put the collet on the cylinder, and then I'm going to put clay in the cylinder, the same color as the clay that I'm making the cups out of. Then I'm going to use the ram. This is called the ram. There's a clove hitch that sleeves over the mount like that, and the ram goes down in the cylinder and squishes the clay, compresses the clay through the die. And then let's back out so we can see, and then as I push down, the clay comes out the size I want. Now there was air in that particular piece of clay, and that's what caused it to blow off. So I'm going to try again here. This time, if there's no air, it'll just come out smoothly, like that. And this is what I'll be using to produce the handles for my cups. In this segment, I'm going to show how to attach the handles to the cup. The cup's leather hard. The handle is fresh right out of the bag clay. The traditional way to get the leather hard clay to receive the fresher, wetter clay is by scoring. You saw scoring in previous videos. I'm not needing to do the scoring because of the advent or invention of a kind of an agent, which is a polymer that's mixed with the clay slip, that will help get the wetter clay to adhere to the drier clay. I call it magic slip. That's because I believe in magic. The magic in magic slip is that you don't have to do that labor-intensive step of scoring the clay and the handle. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of air bubbles in my extrusion. I don't want air bubbles in my extrusion. So, Sudra, you might want to come down so there's more of a profile shot, coming like from that angle. There we go. Okay, so you can see that the magic slip is stuck. I painted it on the cup and the handle so that there's enough. And then the thing that I'm paying attention to now is handling the clay as little as possible. The more you handle the clay, the more details of your fingers, you start to apply unwanted detail to and features to the cup from your fingers. So the less you actually handle the clay for the handle, the simpler and more elegant it's going to look. Now, there's a phrase in art called form follows function. The way that phrase is applied here, if the negative space of the handle is too big, it's going to be vulnerable to getting broken, and it's going to take up too much room in the cupboard. If the negative space of the handle is too small, there won't be enough room between my fingers and the cup when I'm using it, and it'll burn my fingers. So this is the ideal size of the negative space, just enough room for 3 fingers and there to be a space between the cup and my fingers so that it's friendly to use. Now, notice the other thing is the top of the ear shape that the handle makes is just below the rim. And the reason for that is most people, when they wash their coffee cup and put it away, they put it away rim down. If there's a rise right here, it's going to be wobbly. And when I'm wanting to glaze this, it's going to be wobbly. So I always make sure that the top of the handle is slightly below the rim of the cup. Like that.